Hey, and welcome back to Lucid Equity, where we turn the confusing parts of money into one clear, simple move. $75,000 a year. On paper, that's a good salary, above the US median, enough to feel comfortable. And that is exactly the problem. 75K is the comfortable trap, enough money to feel fine, and never quite enough to fix a mistake. Here's what nobody tells you. At this income, you're past survival, but below the point where money fixes itself. Every dollar now has a job, and if you don't assign it one, inflation and lifestyle creep will. The difference between a $75,000 earner who retires wealthy and one who retires broke isn't the salary. It's 7 decisions. I'm going to give you all 7 in the exact order to do them with the real numbers. And move 1 is the one most people leave sitting on the table. And before you assume this is basic, most people earning this much are doing at least 3 of these 7 wrong right now. Not because they are lazy, but because nobody ever handed them the order. Move number 1. Take every dollar of your employer's 401k match. If your company matches 5%, that is $3,750 a year. Free. Not a bonus. Not a raise you have to negotiate. Free money that appears the moment you contribute. A 50% match is an instant 50% return, before the market does anything at all. No investments on earth reliably pays that. Now watch it compound. That $3,750 a year invested at 7% for 30 years becomes $381,000. And if you skip it for just 10 years, you didn't simply lose the match. You handed back $37,500 in cash, plus everything it would have grown into. The fix takes 10 minutes. Log into your retirement account and set your contribution to at least the full match percentage. Think about what that actually means. Your coworker doing the identical job, earning the identical salary, retires with $381,000 more than you, purely because they checked one box in an online portal and you didn't. That is the highest return 10 minutes of your entire financial life. Move number 2. Move your emergency fund out of checking. Most people at this income keep $10, $15, even $20,000 sitting in a regular bank account earning essentially nothing, often 1/100%. That money isn't safe, it's just still. $15,000 in a checking account earns you about $2 a year. The same $15,000 in a high-yield savings account paying around 4% earns roughly $600 a year. That is a $598 raise for one transfer that takes 15 minutes. Same money, same access, same safety. The fix: open a high-yield savings account. Move 3 to 6 months of expenses there, and never think about it again. And people resist this one because it feels like effort for pennies. Is it? $600 a year, every year, for doing nothing but holding your money in a different building. Over a decade, that is $6,000 of pure, riskless money you simply chose not to collect. Move number 3. Destroy any debt above about 8% interest. Credit cards, personal loans, anything predatory. This one comes before extra investing, and here's the math on why. $8,000 on a credit card at 22% APR costs you $1,760 a year in interest alone. Paying that off is a guaranteed 22% return. Tax-free, risk-free. The stock market average is about 7. Nothing legal reliably beats 22. The fix: list every debt, then attack the highest interest rate first while paying minimums on the rest. That's the avalanche method, and it is mathematically optimal. And here is the psychological trap. Investing feels productive, and paying off debt feels like standing still. Mathematically, it's the opposite. Every dollar you throw at a 22% balance earns a guaranteed 22%. Every dollar you invest instead earns a hopeful 7. You are paying 22 to chase 7. Move number 4. Automate 15% of your income into investments before you ever see it. Not whatever is left at the end of the month. There is never anything left at the end of the month. Willpower is a terrible savings plan. Automation is a great one. 15% of $75,000 is $11,250 a year, about $938 a month. Invested at 7%. That becomes $488,000 in 20 years, $1.14 million in 30, and $2.46 million in 40. Same salary the entire time. The only variable is how early you start. The fix: set an automatic transfer for the day after payday, so the money leaves before your brain ever sees it. And notice what changes across those numbers. The contribution never changed, $938 a month. The entire time. The only thing that moved was the number of years, which is exactly why starting today at a smaller amount beats starting perfectly in 3 years. Move number 5. Put your money into the right accounts, in the right order. Most people invest in the wrong container and quietly donate the difference to taxes. The order matters more than the fund you pick. Here it is. First, contribute enough to get the full employer match. That's the free money from Move 1. Second, if you have a high-deductible health plan, fund a health savings account. It's the only account that is triple tax advantaged. Deductible going in and growing tax-free, and tax-free coming out for medical costs. Third, fund a Roth IRA or your 401k up to the annual limit, and only then invest in a regular taxable brokerage account. The fix, follow that order top to bottom. Same dollars, dramatically more of them kept. And the health savings account deserves a special mention because almost nobody uses it correctly. Most people treat it like a spending account and drain it every December. If you can't afford to pay medical costs out of pocket instead, and let that account invest and grow untouched, it becomes the most tax-efficient retirement account that exists. Move number 6. Stop your raises from disappearing. Lifestyle creep is the silent killer at this income. You get a raise, and within 2 months your spending has quietly absorbed every dollar of it. You feel exactly as broke at $85,000 as you did at $75,000. So use one simple rule. Bank half of every raise. With typical 3% raises, banking half means that by year 10 you are investing an extra $12,897 a year without ever feeling poorer, because you still spent the other half. Invest that for 20 more years at 7%, and it becomes $559,000. The fix, the day a raise hits, increase your automatic investment by half of it before you adjust your spending. This is the move that quietly separates people. 2 coworkers get the same raises for 10 years. One absorbs every dollar into a nicer apartment and a newer car. The other banks half. A decade later they earn the identical salary, but one has an extra $500,000 coming, and the other has a slightly nicer lifestyle they already stopped noticing. Move number 7, and the one with the highest ceiling. Increase your income. You can only optimize expenses so far. Spending has a floor, but earning does not have a roof. At $75,000, a single successful negotiation is worth more than years of cutting subscriptions. One 10% raise is $7,500 a year. Invest just that raise, and over 30 years at 7%, it becomes $762,000 from one conversation. And it compounds far beyond that, because every future raise and every job offer is calculated off the higher number. The fix, document your wins, research your market rate, and ask once a year, every year. And most people never ask because it feels uncomfortable for about 90 seconds. Weigh that properly. 90 seconds of discomfort against $762,000. That is the best hourly rate you will ever be offered. So here is the full list in order. 1. Take the entire employer match. 2. Move your emergency fund to high-yield savings. 3. Kill any debt above 8%. 4. Automate 15%. 5. Use the right accounts in the right order. 6. Bank half of every raise. And 7. Raise your income. Now notice something. Not one of these requires you to pick a winning stock. Not a single one. And look at the order, because the order is the strategy. Free money first, then safety, then guaranteed returns, then automation, then tax efficiency, then protecting your raises, then raising the ceiling entirely. Each one funds the next. $75,000 is genuinely enough to build real wealth, but only if the money has instructions. Comfortable is not a plan. Do these 7 in order, and that salary quietly turns into $1 million outcome. Ignore them, and it just turns into 30 years of feeling fine. If this gave you a clear next step, subscribe. One confusing money topic made simple every single week. And tell me in the comments, which move are you doing this week? One more thing worth saying plainly. None of this requires you to be smart, lucky, or early to some trend. It requires you to get organized once and then let time do the unglamorous work. This video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. 7% is a long-run average, not a guarantee, and account rules and interest rates change over time. Do your own research or talk to a licensed professional. So if this helped, do 3 quick things. Hit that like button, share it with someone earning around this much, and subscribe for a new money breakdown every single week.